Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey everyone, happy Friday. This is Heather Hope with the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. How was your week? So, there's some ways when people ask you questions like that, do you feel absolutely compelled to tell them the truth? Like, oh my God, this week has been the hardest week ever, blah, 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 right? I get that way. I've always been this person that just really just wants to tell the truth. Now, I can lie. I'm a pretty good liar, but I don't lie very often. It's like if it's absolutely necessary that I would, but I have always been that person. I'm just compelled to tell the truth. And when I listen to Abraham, sometimes it's like you really want to tell a different story. Now, it's not about lying. Like, it's better to not lie because you could just be, screwing up the vibration because it's not true, right? What you could say this was a really challenging week. You could say, well, this week I experienced some contrast, but I have hope. Now, hope is the very least that you should have, right? Hope is not like something to strive. Well, strive for hope if you're way down in the emotional guidance scale, right? But hope is very minimal. It's like you really want to be at least hopeful for the future, hopeful for things. If not, trusting is so much more powerful, and knowing is the most powerful. So if you can get to the point of either being like hopeful, I'm hoping, this week or this weekend it's going to be really amazing. You could do that instead of saying, this has been the most challenging week of my life. It's been really difficult, blah, 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 giving a person 10 different things of why it was so awful. You know what I mean? So try, if you are like me, try to reroute your thinking, your thoughts about that of like, you know what? Yeah, there was some contrast. I use the word contrast a lot. There was some contrast this week. But I know I'm going to have fun this weekend. I'm really focusing on having some fun. Doesn't that sound better? Okay. Anyway, I was just doing the dishes, and right before the dishes, I was. Today is Thursday for me. I was watching a YouTube video of a YouTuber I used to watch, but I had to stop watching her because of various. You guys know. So I clicked on her video of what she made on YouTube for 2020. So she has, I think, about 1.5 million subscribers. She has a vlog channel and a main channel. So she was talking about her RPM. Now, if you're a YouTuber, you probably know what I'm talking about. Let me click on okay, because I want to share this really, really important thing. If you know or learn anything about law of attraction and business, learn this, like understand this truly, and you will have the most successful business you can imagine. This is the key right here. Never, ever, 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 ever. Now I sound like Abraham, right? Never, ever, 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 ever look at averages. Never look at statistics. Never look at what other people are getting and what they say the average is. This is about everything. Okay, so because what one person is getting is what they are allowing. And if you want more, then don't pay attention to what they're saying. Does that make sense? So, okay, so let me look at my channel right now. I don't pay attention too much about this. I just see numbers and I'm like, oh, cool. I pay attention. So let's see. RPM. RPM means revenue per mile or mil. I think it's mil, sorry, which means million. Or actually, it doesn't mean million. I'm not going to make up words, but I think it's how much per thousand per thousand. Okay. So channels on YouTube rank different RPMs. And I've heard people making like $1 RPM, $1, $2. I've heard like a lot of beauty ones make that little. And then I've heard finance channels, anybody talking about money, can be like 20 to 30. Well, this YouTuber, she's pretty young. She talks a lot about, I mean, she does really amazing YouTube videos, like amazing B-roll. She puts a lot of time and effort. She really scripts everything out. She has really great video production. So anyway, so she was going over the past couple of years of her RPM and thinking it was really good. So I'm watching this and I thought it was going to be more. I just thought it was going to be more. She ranges between, like, I think 2019, it was $6 RPM. This year it was like 9. So she ranges somewhere between 6 and 9 on her main channel. And I can't remember what her vlog channel was, but anyway, she has 1.5 million subscribers. Okay. So, and she was thinking $9 was really good. And a guy in the comment section, said, your RPM is amazing. And he got like 65 likes on that comment. And I'm like, I know mine's higher. Like, I know mine. And my playback CPM, which I thought was the more important one, but I guess maybe not, was up to like, gosh, it was 50 at one point. But my RPM right now, as it looks, just overall average of all my videos across the board, because each video varies, is $11.05. So, and it's never been below 10 since I've had this channel. It's been a lot higher. So it fluctuates. It does. But it's not something I pay attention to. It's not something I go out looking for the averages. What should I be? What should my number be? Now, I know this is like such a human thing that people do. Where should my business be? What should I charge? What should I do? All of these shoulds, what should I be charging, or whatever you fill in the blank, right? So people go out searching. This is part of like market research. This is all the stuff that business people teach, which I'm just like, stop doing that. And then they go find out what other people are doing, and then they strive for that. You know what you want to strive for? The very best that the universe can offer you, which will throw all the other people out of the way. The universe has power. I mean, the universe is the power. It's the power source of everything, right? So never, ever, 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 ever go looking at what the average is, because that's just showing what other people have allowed based on their belief system. So if your belief is, oh yeah, my channel or whatever, but my channel, the average is like $5. I'll never make more than 5. That's just facts. That's just the truth, right? So don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. So that's my lesson for today. I wanted to start today's podcast with that because it's on my mind. That's it. So like I've talked about it in the past about like email rates, like open email rates. My open email rate used to be 87%. And then one day I found out that the average is like between 20 to 25%, depending on that's the average. And after I like looked at that and kind of pondered it, my average went down. It went down to that. But not knowing is the best thing best thing ever. Like really not knowing. So don't go researching this stuff. Don't go researching what is the average RPM for a YouTuber. Don't do it. I have no idea what the average is. I just know what this girl said. I know what I've heard little tiny bits in the past. And when I start going down that rabbit hole of like information coming at me, I will close it down because I don't want to know. Because I don't want my mind to be fixated. Yesterday, I came home from the the dog groomer, right? And I was a little frustrated because I told my husband, I'm like, this is why I don't like talking to humans, like at all, because they will tell you things that you don't want in your vibration. You don't want it. So I have a hard time talking to everybody. Now, I know that's like a belief, like, like I know I'm a self-fulfilling prophecy over here, and so are you, but it's like I don't want people telling me, so I need to stop saying that, but you know what I mean? Like people will just say things to you about something that's important to you and tell you something that your mind might start fixating on. If you can just blow past it and say, yeah, no, I don't want that, and move on and not think about it, that's your best way to live. Because you don't want people telling you things that are not positive that you will fixate on, and then it will become more true, like more true for you. Oh, so, and I'm talking about any human, even people that claim they understand the law of attraction. I don't meet that many people, and that's another truth that I've made true, right? For me is I haven't met really many people who truly understand. So, so people continue to tell me their problems or, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to talk about it, but anyway, so that is the thing I wanted to start off today because it's super duper important. Don't pay attention to statistics. Don't pay attention to, unless they make you feel good. Now, like if you think of like the COVID death rate, it's really small. We're not talking like 50% of everybody. You know what I mean? And so it may make people feel good. Now, if you break that down to actual numbers of how many people, that may not make you feel better because it creates a bigger number. But then if you know that there is no death and all that stuff, that makes you feel better. So everything is about how it makes you feel. So don't sell yourself short by looking at what other people are getting, because you can get more by not paying attention to them and by allowing the universe to deliver in big ways. Okay, that's enough of that subject. Let me grab my drink. And okay, so I'm excited. We're going to get to the message soon. If you're new here, geez, thank you for being here this long. I talk about the law of attraction primarily with business on this channel. And yeah, you can grab my book. It's based off of this podcast. They both are the same. The Inspired Entrepreneur, 366 Days of Inspiration for the Entrepreneur. It's like a law of attraction, business law of attraction, fortune cookie, really. And you just open to a page and boom, there's your perfect message. Or you just follow along each day. You don't have to listen to me every day. This is a daily podcast, which kind of sounds like an insane amount of content to listen to, but I try to keep them a bit on the shorter side for a podcast. But what you could do, you don't have to listen to me daily. You can. I really appreciate it. I love it if you do, because you'll learn a lot. But the other way you could do it, if you get the book and then flip to a page or get to a page a day that you're just like, you know what, I want to hear more about this message. Because occasionally there's a message in that book that is not terribly self-explanatory. I've run across them. I'm like, wow, that was really short. And so then you can come over to YouTube or my podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast or listen to this podcast, and find that day. Now, I started September 1st, And today is January 21st. So that's where we're at right now. So you can't find anything between, whatever, unless you're listening to this in the future. But there you go. And then you can listen to what I had to say that day about that day. Okay. So I'm excited. I decided a couple days ago that I wanted a treadmill desk. The other day, I had looked at this in the past too. The other day, I pulled out my desk chair and I was doing some rearranging, stacking my books in a pretty way and, cleaning up my whole office space. And then I turn around to my computer. My computer's on a decorative, like, box type thing. So it's up at eye level. It's my laptop. And it felt really good to stand at my computer. So I've considered standing desks in the past. I prefer the thought of walking because I love treadmills. And so that really sparked an interest in getting a treadmill desk. So I spent like literally 48 hours, like I'm not even kidding, almost every minute of, besides sleeping, obsessed with this idea. And I found my hopefully perfect desk setup and treadmill. So they're on their way the next few days. Things will be coming in. And so I got a little desk under the desk treadmill that I'm going to start using. And I'm excited because I have been losing weight the last few months just very easily. And I love walking. And I think I've been having back pain, neck pain, all this stuff by sitting at my desk for so long that I am excited to move. Do you ever get that way about exercise? The thought of it sometimes, it's like, it is super inspired and I can't wait. I've been getting this office ready. I opened up the drapes on that side of the room and the light coming in is beautiful. Anyway, and then I just thought of doing my podcast being on the treadmill, just a slow walk. So I'm excited. And the desk that I currently have set up will stay here. So it'll be like my makeup place because it is where I do my makeup every morning and where I can sit and read books. That'll be or if I just want to sit once in a while, which will happen, and write or whatever. So I'm excited. I'm a person who needs several desk areas. I used to go around my house all the time and sit at the dining room table, in the bed, sit at the couch, sit all throughout my house throughout the day because I needed some variety. I haven't done that in a long time. So I'm excited. I'll let you know when I start walking on the treadmill. I just know for me that walking will improve my flexibility, improve my circulation, improve stamina, improve, losing more weight, just getting slimmer. I picture it. So it's going to happen. Okay, so let's jump to today's message because I know this is a long one. Let's see how long it takes us to get through. Let's get over there. January 22nd. This big portion is an Abraham Hicks quote. I think I pulled it from a video. I do that a lot. A lot of the quotes that I use, I've pulled out of videos myself. I didn't find them online. I just pulled them out of a good video. And some of them get a little lengthy. So here we go. Really, there are no absolute right and absolute wrong choices. Just make one a choice and line up with it. Better line up with it and then make it. What is this even? If I can read. Okay, really, there are no absolute right and absolute wrong choices. Just make one and line up with it. Line up, better yet, it's probably what it should say. Line up with it and then make it. So line up with the subject and make a choice. Line up with what you want and make the choice. Remember, what is it that I do want? But if you've already made it the choice, then line up with it. Was that clear as mud? that was, I wonder if I did pull that from a video, and oh goodness. So if you've already made a choice, line up with it. So if you made a choice and you think it's the wrong choice, and then you line up with it being a wrong choice, guess what? It's going to be a wrong choice, usually, right? So it's like when they say there are absolutely, so basically the universe can work with anything that you do as long as you line up with it in a positive way. It's the same with relationships. Pretty much you can save any relationship. Pretty much. I just listened to this morning and they said we typically say that you don't have to leave somebody, but law of attraction will, due to law of attraction, people do drift off in separate ways naturally, just because of what they desire. So it's not, and then when you try to keep it together and you naturally should be apart, that's when there's some kind of tension, right? Trying to make it work. When, if you let it go, something better is right around the corner, right? So make a choice and line up with it. Make a choice and don't, line up with the opposite of like, oh my God, I just made a terrible, terrible mistake. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Don't do that. That's just so normal to do, right? Don't do that. Just be like, okay, well, I made that choice. I'm really hopeful, right? Minimum hope. Really hopeful that that's going to work out. Period. Go walk your dog. Go play in the park. Go do something else and just say, you know what? I made that choice. I really hope it's going to work out. And don't ruminate on all the reasons why it shouldn't work out, right? Oh, the things we do, right? There's no right or wrong in anything. There's just you in relation to what you've become, to what you're allowing yourself to experience. That was the rest of the quote. There's no right or wrong in anything. The universe can make anything happen, but you have the power to direct what happens by your thoughts. You have the power to direct it. So when you fret, now I know there's times that you can worry about something and the good thing happens. And you're like, oh, wow. Kind of surprised that it worked, that it did happen. There was just enough there for it to work. Plus, you don't know what you put into it in the past. I think that's a big part of it. You don't know what you put in your vortex in the past. You have no idea. With every subtle thing, every little contrast, this is all, without even realizing it. So the rest I wrote, I love knowing this. You are so powerful that you make anything work. Just line up with it. If you want it. So one of my quotes growing up, like my entire adulthood, this is something that I truly believed, and I don't know why, but I think I believed it because I practiced it. If I want something bad enough, I will find a way to get it. That was my quote. I don't know. Maybe I stole it from someone 30 years ago, but that's what I always said to myself. If I want something bad enough, I will find a way to get it. Sounds kind of forceful, sounds kind of aggressive, sounds kind of like trying, but it really works. That sort of mentality, that sort of mindset works. If I want it, like the desire, right? If I want this, if my desire is strong enough, it will find a way. It will, I will, it will come to me, I will come to it, whatever happens, right? It will happen. I get so determined in certain things. I get super determined. with certain things. Like, especially now, because I'm like, no, I know I can have whatever I want. So I'll keep searching. If I have nothing better to do, which is probably never true, but like searching for the perfect desk the last 2 days for my standing desk for my treadmill. There's a lot of choices, and that's what gets me like crazy is having lots of choices of things. Like lots of choices. That's what like brings me to like taking forever to find something, but or to make a decision. But I typically know, like I know when I see it. I always know, and if it doesn't spark this like, oh, I love it, then I know to keep looking. Keep looking. Just keep looking. And I'm looking for like the perfect thing. Now, I have to say yesterday when I ordered my treadmill, hold on. When I ordered my treadmill, I was looking for a treadmill. Okay, these are under the desk, very small treadmills. I needed to find one with a certain weight capacity for me. And it was very easy to find ones that were lower than that. So it was a little frustrating. But they make them, some of them have different colors to them. And so the one, I found one that was like half teal. Beautiful. It was such a beautiful thing. But I think it didn't have the weight capacity. And I'm like, ugh. And I really just didn't want to compromise on that. I really wanted to make sure if I'm going to be using it a lot, I wanted to make sure it's going to hold me comfortably. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that it's good. So that means it's just sturdier, right? It should be like more powerful, all that. So one kept popping up. It just kept popping up, even on YouTube as a couple of reviews. I'm like, Jesus. The only thing, like it was a great price. It was $50 off with their coupon. It was just like had 5-star reviews. The only thing is that it had orange accents to it. I don't like orange. I just don't really care for the color, and it won't match my office. But I kept looking and kept looking and kept looking and kept looking and kept looking. And this one kept coming up, kept coming up, kept coming up. And I'm like, and I'm looking at the specs and I'm like, geez, this is a really good one. It's a really good price. And so I was just like, fine, I will get this. Maybe I can cover up. It's just like big strips of orange. I'm like, Jesus. But, even though I was just like, I know I can get what I want, it just kept popping up and it just kept looking better than the other ones with the specs. And I'm like, and I was kind of tired of the whole process and I really wanted to get it ordered. And it was just like, I could have just let it go, but then I didn't want this whole thing to just go away and whatever. I was just like, no, yeah, I think this is the one. For some reason, this is the one, even though it's black and orange. It is what it is. And I felt good with the decision, even though, the color, but, I don't know. But because it kept coming up, I'm like, okay. And the specs were really good and the price was really good. Like everything else was lined up. And I'm like, okay. Maybe, now that I think about it, maybe they have one that's not orange and they'll send me that one. You never know. You know what I mean? You never know what the universe has up its sleeve. Something happened. Gosh, what was it? Oh, I was ordering. So I like customizing things, or I like making things different. I am a weirdo when it comes to thinking out of the box a little bit. So a long time ago, I one of my desks in the past, I love large desks, like really big ones, because I like having lots of space. And so a long time ago, I used a 6-foot table. It was a folding table, and I put something on top of it so you couldn't tell it's a folding table. And it was one of my best desks. This sucker is like $40, right? It was a long time ago. And then I upgraded to nicer desks. The one I have now, I got it at IKEA like a million years ago, and it's just a huge desk. It's very simple. It's easy to move, and that's one of my things. I move a lot. You just unscrew all the legs and it's just one piece of wood. Now it's a weird shape, which is annoying sometimes, but it's not this enormous desk that I've had in the past or had at work. And that's difficult to move. Like I love furniture that's easy to move. Like most of my furniture all comes apart in some way, some unique design. And it's been incredible because sometimes you just have to move things in your car. And if you can break all your furniture down to fit in a car, that's pretty incredible. So anyhow, so I decided, so when Roger, my husband, moved in, I gave him my old office. It's like the official office of the house. And it's this beautiful room with all these built-in things. It was the office I used for years when I lived here. And I had demolished the desk a few years ago when we put new carpet in because it was pretty much trash. It was a trash desk. And so there was nothing there. So except for a couple of filing cabinets, this is all nice cherry wood. Not nice. It's just cherry wood veneer. Filing cabinets or drawers. I left those because they were usable. So what we ended up doing was taken a door off of one of the bedrooms. It was actually the bedroom or the room to my meditation room. It had a hole in it, which I was going to replace the door when the house is for sale. So we took the door off and we put the door as his desktop. So he's got this 6-foot door, 6 feet by 32 inches door as his desk. And every so often I go in there and I'm like, God, got the good office. This is my old office, right? And you got the good desk, even though it's a freaking door, literally off its hinges. We took the hardware off and put it on these two things, the two filing cabinet / drawers, right? He's got drawers. I don't even have drawers because mine's just a piece of, just a flat top piece of wood. So every once in a while, I get envious of his desk because it's huge. And so yesterday I was looking at this again and I'm like, I want a door for my, I'm such a weirdo. So I found, because it's all about, height for desks. I learned that with my other desk. And then a standing desk and then adding inches for your treadmill and this whole computation and then my height. And we won't know until it's here, but and then we can fix everything. So I decided to get shelving, like cube shelves, like it's 6 shelves, like or 6 cubes. If you know what I'm talking about, I don't know. And it's like a shelving unit, and it might be the perfect height. So I bought 2 of them. I bought 2 of them, one for each side of this desk, and we went over to our Habitat for Humanity. I actually was trying to go there yesterday after I dropped Gizmo off at the groomer, and then there was no parking, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll just go home. So I go home, and an hour later, Roger comes in and says, I think we should go to Habitat for Humanity. I'm like, we never, like we go there probably 2 to 3 times a year and never talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sitting here like, well, obviously we're supposed to go there because I was trying to go there and you just walked in saying we need to go there for just to look around and see what we can find. So we go there and they do sell these doors, which I know. And so we go in there and we look at all these doors and, an interior house door is $12. And so I'm like picking out the right size and we didn't buy it yet, but we will probably this weekend. And so I'm getting a door desk on top of my shelving and I'm going to put like marble contact paper that looks gorgeous, I think, on top of my desktop to make this beautiful desktop with these beautiful shelves. I got like, it's called tobacco oak. It's not a shade I would ever normally buy, but it was the only one that seemed pretty nice. It looked nicer. So anyhow, but I ordered these shelves. I was ordering them on Amazon and it said there's 2 left in stock. And I'm like, okay, I was just still deciding on whether I was going to do it or not, because this was a big deal because I've looked at a million desks and try to narrow it down. And so So right when I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to do it, I go over to my cart and it says there's only one available. I'm like, what? There's only one available. I need two. And so I was like, in that moment, I told myself, that just means there's something better because it's not available. So there's something better available. So I look up it's Better Homes and Gardens furniture. You know who sells Better Homes and Gardens? Walmart. So I had no idea. So now I typically don't buy Walmart furniture, but I'm like, this is just something I'm putting together right now. This is the house that we currently live in. It's going to be easy to move. When we move into a nicer home, I mean, I live in a really nice home now, but like a nicer home, I'll redesign or not because this is probably going to look really nice. I really think so. So I go over to Walmart's website and it ends up being like $25 cheaper per shelf. Was it 20? It was like $20 cheaper per shelf at their own website. Same exact thing. And I'm like, oh, that was just something better. It was just cheaper. So it was funny. So after I ordered my shelves through Walmart, I go back a little bit, like just a few minutes later, and I go look because I still had it up on my page. And it said on the shelf on Amazon, it said 5 available. And I'm like, 5 available? There was just one like 2 hours ago. Now there's 5. So it was like, and now today I look at it and it's like 10. And I'm like, you guys are crazy. So I'm like, just don't, the universe has you. The universe is guiding you. So it's like, there was a better deal. The universe knows I love good deals. And there it was. So anyhow, that was a long one. But I was telling Roger, I'm like, I knew in that moment, if it wasn't available, then there was something better. There was something better. So I just kept looking for just a little bit more, and there it was. If you want something bad enough, you can find a way to get it. Just don't give up. And just stay positive. Stay positive that something better is coming, or it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. Have an amazing rest of your Friday, and I will be back tomorrow. Bye.